Video is about consumption. It will be quick, but it's just a reminder that even doom scrolling or whatever you do, like even if you're not constantly attached to the phone, scrolling up and down social media for pointless bullshit, you still consume stuff, even unknowingly. Like everything that you have around you has or gives some kind of information, some kind of, I don't want to say product, but some kind of broadcast, okay? From the TV, from the books you read, from the people you are surrounded with. And largely, at least at the beginning, when you start to be more aware of your mental health, maybe you are not as connected, or even like you do recognize that these things are actually sending you things, information, energy, okay? And you have like, okay, I'm hearing things and I'm being with people, but maybe you're not totally aware of the impact that these things, that these circumstances have. Okay? So the first thing, as always, is to become aware of that. So everything that you consume consciously or unconsciously does have the capability to shape your belief system, and your belief system, of course, shapes your life. Okay? Everything that goes into the subconscious will create your life in one way or the other. Okay? So basically, the first thing to do is to be aware of what I'm consuming. So, are you scrolling social media mindlessly? Are you with people that for some reason, okay, are not actually supporting you or making you somewhat happier, okay, or giving something to you in both human, spiritual, and even just intellectual, okay, planes? So the first thing is to become aware, because you cannot heal, you cannot be stable, you cannot find a glimpse of a way out if you're constantly bombarded with shit, not when you're weak. Okay? So if you have depression, if you have anxiety, you are unfortunately not yet in the position to start ignoring and having the power to actually counteract by yourself these things. So the 3D, the environment still has something to say when you have attacks, okay, when you're low, okay? The first thing is to recognize the patterns of consumption, okay, and then gradually shift towards more helpful, more positive, more constructive outlets. Okay, so and be aware that not all constructive outlets, especially like the self-improvement, okay, gang, is something that is truly helpful or truly positive, because it can quickly spiral down into the grinder mindset, which is something that has both a positive side, but many, especially for people who are extremely sensitive, okay, like me, it can be very dangerous because it can lead you down to even darker paths. But still, be aware of the consumption and try to shift towards consumption of something that is just a little bit better. And how do you identify something that gives you a little bit of a leverage? Is that it gives you relief from these thoughts, from the situation, but of course does not hide it. So there's another thing to say. You're not consuming in order to hide, okay, something to get away from the thought, from the pain. The thing that you should point do is to consume something that gives you relief and not an escape. There are two different things, okay? Relief is when you start to question and you feel a little bit better, okay? Is not something that you use to temper, to close, to hide, to escape. Because to escape, still, you feel the tension. You want something that gives you true relief, okay? Whatever it might be, just be aware of what you're consuming or who you are with, and try to find the best thing about what you have already around you that will actually bring you a little bit closer to something that is similar to true relief. So this was the video of today. See you soon.